What's up, guys? Welcome back to NorCal Cycling 2. We got training camp today with the Velo Kings. Myself, Mitch, Cole, and Matt. This is the route that we have planned right here. I'll put it up on the side of the screen. Let's get into it. Velo Kings training camp. Phew! And just like that, we were off for this 116-mile ride, 10,000 feet of elevation. One of the biggest rides I've ever done or plan to ever do. And it starts off with this climb up Mount Tam, which we're going up right now, it's a pretty tough climb. And we decided to do some efforts up this climb, kind of make team camp really, really spicy. We had some goals and some segments that we wanted to hit, and we were starting off hot, where Mitch and Matt, the two riders in front of me here on this GoPro, we're going to go for a climb segment up Tam. It was like a 23-minute effort that they were going to go for. And then Cole and I were going to rotate and hold on for as long as we could because watt per kilo wise, yeah, Matt and Mitch kind of blow both of us out of the water. They are strong dudes. So yeah, that was a really fun way to start off team camp. And Cole and I actually hung on for a little while. Then we ended up stopping taking pulls, and they kind of rode away from us. But they crushed on this effort. I think they got like 50th or 60th overall on this leaderboard, which is pretty big because these segments up here on Mount Tam have just so many hitters, just rows and rows of hitters. And I think it was out of like 10 or 20,000 people. So really, really impressive effort for them and a great way to start it off. So after they did that effort, we all reconvened and got back together. And as you can see in this shot that Alyssa got from the car, we are now all back together and in the clouds. It was such a cool experience to climb all the way up to just being like in the fog, because at the base of Tam it was sunny, and then in the middle of Tam where we are right now, it was like you could barely see 5 feet in front of you. It was a pretty cool experience. And before we know it, after suffering in the fog for a little bit, it's like we broke through the clouds, overcame, and like 3/4 of the way up this climb, it's just like we're above the clouds. You can see to the right there's the clouds, and it's just a beautiful day out. That's the crazy part about riding in this part of Northern California during the late spring, early summer like this, is there's just so many different microclimates, which is kind of cool, but it makes it tough to decide what to wear and all that. But yeah, it was so much fun, and this was a pretty cool experience to ride above the clouds. Boys made it to the top of Tam. So much fun. We went hard. I don't think we got any trophies or crowns, but we definitely put in a good effort. That's like a third of the climbing done for the day. We still have 100 miles left though, so time to buckle up.
It's going good.
Let's go. Matt's a beast, bro.
I know.
Look at him,
this dude, he's just like, eh.
Well,
Quick as nothing, bro. And one of the best parts about going up means you get to fly down. So we had a super fun descent down Tam coming up. Something that I'm still learning. Descending is definitely not one of my strong suits, so it's fun to go out there and practice, especially people who are much better at descending than me. Like all three of these guys are pretty beast descenders, so it's fun to follow their lines and learn from them. But yeah, to start off this ride, you basically get a third of the climbing done right off the bat just from this Tam summit. So it's a pretty gnarly way to start. And I mean, I urge you guys to go out and try this route if you're ever in the Bay Area, kind of in that Marin area. It is one of my saved routes on my Strava, so be sure to go follow, check it out, and try this route. It's a fun one. But yeah, after only 16 miles in, we have a fourth of the climbing done, and it's time to descend into the next 100 miles of the day. Let's get it. And on the way back down Tam on this descent, the fog had moved over the exact place that we were descending down into Stinson Beach, California. And it was gnarly. You could like literally barely see right in front of you. I know the GoPro doesn't really do it justice, but as we were riding through this, yeah, it got pretty thick out there. But we did end up making it down to Stinson Beach, where we're going to do our next set of efforts here on Shoreline Highway. We're going to do some team time trial efforts and just rotate through, pull at about 450 watts, and see how long we can hold this until our next climb, which would be after the town of Stinson Beach. So we basically had, like 4 or 5 miles, just rotating, full pace, full gas. It was a blast. And just like that, we had finished up our second efforts of the day, kind of all back together, just cruising for a little bit through these rolling hills of past the Stinson Beach town. And then after that, you kind of climb up back the other side of Tam and then descend back into Tam Junction. This part of the ride is so gorgeous. Truly, if you guys could ever get out here to ride, highly, highly recommend it. One of my favorite rides in the area. One of my favorite rides that I've ever done all the time. I haven't really ridden too many places, but I do have to say I'm pretty spoiled to be able to live around here and ride this on the weekly. And now we're about 45 miles into this route with climbed over 5,000 feet at this point. So halfway done with the climbing. and a little bit under, well, like, yeah, a little bit over a third of the way done with the route. And now we're on to one of my favorite parts of the route, which is this Paradise Loop. You just fly the whole time. Unfortunately, we had a pretty gnarly headwind, so we ended up just kind of switching rotations and pulling through, as you can see me pulling through from Matt here and just taking a pull. But we were just going to go ahead and bust out this 25 miles the best we could and just enjoy this little loop. Again, if you guys ever are in this area, I highly recommend you check out the Paradise Loop. It's kind of fun to go through all these big houses and the Tiburon area. So yeah, let's rip it. The Paradise Loop, here we come. Okay, we're a little bit over halfway in. Starting to feel a little bit. Matt is pulling hard right now, guys. Stupid strong. About to hit a really gnarly climb where Mitch is gonna go for the KOM. And then Matt, Cole, and I are gonna go for a climb after that. We only got 60 miles left. We gotta start to make shit happen. All right, let's get it. So after lunch, we hit this gnarly climb in Larkspur, I think is technically where it is, Larkspur, California. We've done a video on the main channel, NorCal Cycling, before, climbing up this climb where Jackson and Jeff race each other. Jackson's on the Euro bike. Basically, this climb has pitches that are over 40%. It is just disgusting. But Mitch was going to go ahead and give it a full-out effort, see if he could do it. It's like 1.2 miles, but it takes like 9 minutes because of how steep it is. Like, you're basically going like 2 to 3 miles an hour. It's absurd. But the bottom of this climb, as you see me right now leading Mitch and Matt out, it's pretty flat. It will flat-ish. It's still like, you know, right here is probably like 7% or so. But then you'll see the back half of the climb is just disgusting. But I gave it the best lead out I could, flicked Matt through to continue leading out Mitch on the bottom half of this. But sadly, they took a wrong turn and weren't able to give it the full gas effort. But Mitch decided to keep just pulling through and keep hammering and get a good workout out of it. Look at this guy just take off, dude. Because this part right here, I mean, the GoPro doesn't do any justice, but it's like 20% right here. And he's just flying. The kid is a beast. You know, he's like a $145, $150, and just crazy strong. So then Matt and I tried to hang on as long as we could here because, like I said, this is where the climb really starts to pitch. But Matt kind of attacks right here through the corner, and that was pretty much the last I saw of him. I was just hanging on for dear life. This climb is really tough for me to even make it up. It is just so steep, and like I've said many times, being like 175, 180 pounds, being one of the bigger rider, climbs like this they're just not for me. I mean, look at this. Again, the GoPro doesn't do it a ton of justice, but you turn the corner right here, and it's just like 40% wall just slaps you right in the face. Oh my gosh, it is terrible. But the climb is called Christmas Tree Hill. If you guys want to come check it out, come try it. You can hear me panting, almost dying. You can see Matt up there in the distance. We're just trying to make it to the top. And we end up doing that. This is the last little pitch right here. Yeah, it was it was a brutal one to say the least. Right after lunch, just kind of a nice slap in the face. The knees feeling like spaghetti noodles, and we still have like 30, 40 miles left of this ride. And one of the weirdest parts about this climb, for me at least, is that the descent is just as scary and just as terrifying because of how steep it is. You're just holding onto your brakes the whole time. Yeah, I don't know. And as you guys know, my descent skills still need some work. But we ended up making it down and then decided to finish out the Paradise Loop and head over to Hawk Hill. We're descending here on, you climb up this little drive called Chapman Drive. Cole and I did an effort up that, nice little 5-minute effort at like 350, I think, or 360. Legs were feeling like noodles, so it was nice to have a nice chill descent. You can see me following Matt here. This descent is one of my favorites. It's an absolute blast. It's just so fast, so flowy, so fun. And this is one that I feel comfortable enough on that I can do it without brakes. So for me, that's a win. But yeah, we're going to descend over to Hawk Hill, and we'll see you there.
in love with you. You got me down again.
Okay, and when we hit the base of Hawk Hill here, you can see Mitch and Matt up there just flying already, taking off, doing a heck of an effort. Cole and I decided to just kind of do this one at a nice steady 300 to like 320. But at the base of Hawk Hill, we were already 74 miles in, 7,400 feet of elevation climbed. And these boys still decided to just send it. Made it to the top of Hawk Hill. I'm cracked. I'm pretty tired. 75 miles in. I think we're at 7,800 feet is done. The boys are feeling good though. Matt's just crushing the pace. Mitch is just crushing the pace. They just did an effort up Hawk Hill. These guys are built different. But I think we're gonna skip going to the city and just do one more paradise loop instead. But we should get pretty much the same elevation and the same mileage. So I'm excited. Let's finish strong. So originally we were going to go into San Francisco and do this climb in San Francisco called Twin Peaks, which is kind of in the middle of the city. Gorgeous climb, but the crosswinds coming across the bridge would have been just gnarly because the crosswinds and the headlands, which is where we're at right now, were pretty strong. So going across the Golden Gate Bridge after 75 miles, 7,800 feet of climbing in the fog, and we were just we were kind of being soft. We were ready to get out of the fog, so we decided to loop back over and do the Paradise Loop one more time, that loop that we did earlier. It's again like another, I think we had another like 35 miles, so we'd end up right around that 116 mile mark, and we'd end up right at around 10,000 feet of climbing doing that loop. So as you can see here, we're descending down one of these gorgeous descents on the backside of Hawk Hill. I absolutely love this descent, even though it's a little bit terrifying because of the crosswinds, because some of the corners are nice washed out with gravel, but still just so much fun.
I'm so in love with you. You got me down again.
And just like that, we were back at the Paradise Loop on this GoPro shot right here. We are out on Belvedere Peninsula. I think it's Peninsula. Just doing a couple extra hills. Make sure that we hit that 10,000 feet because, your boy's all about the numbers and kind of OCD about that. But, yeah, we're coming up to the end of this crazy ride. Cannot believe that I made it this far, to be honest. Crazy to think that July of last year I was in the worst shape of my life, and to bounce back and be able to do something like this is I'm pretty proud of it. So I just want to say thank you to you guys for motivating me. Thank you to my teammates for motivating me. It's it's just such a fun day, such a fun experience to be able to go out and do this on a bike. And again, super thankful for you guys for all the support on the channel, like being able to do this on a weekend and make a video about it is all thanks to you guys and your support. So seriously, thank you. But with that, Matt ripped us back to the car in this gnarly crosswind. So huge shout out to Matt just pulling us home. I mean, he is an Iron Man. I don't know if you guys see his tattoo. So this guy's just built a little bit different. His perseverance is kind of next level, but Mitch, Cole, and I, we were kind of hanging on for dear life at this point. I mean, we're like 114 miles and a mile away from the car, 10,000 feet of climbing done. We freaking did it, which is super, super cool. I'm pretty proud of that. Like, you know, one of the, I mean, yeah, probably the hardest ride I've ever done. And here are some stats for you guys. 289 watts normalized for me for 7 hours. So yeah, I think that's pretty good. You guys can let me know down below. Definitely got a really solid ride, and really, really good to build the endurance mid-season to make sure that you don't, lose that and just do too much top-end work during the beginning of the season and kind of just lose your oomph and endurance by the end of the season. It's something that Jeff talks about in the masterclass a little bit more in depth, so be sure to check that out. But seriously, guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for all the support. Be sure to follow me on Strava, Instagram if you guys want more daily content. I, again, cannot thank you guys enough for all the support. And check out my team, the Velo Kings. They have an Instagram as well. So, yeah, with that, guys, I'll see you in a new video soon. We got some fun stuff coming up for you guys. So, yeah. All right, peace.